Welcome viewers. We're cycling just at the moment. Thanks for coming by. Now, you're in a relationship that may not necessarily be abusive, but has become reckless. Thanks for what you do.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Thank you. Has become reckless, and the problem with this is it can cause mental and physical harm. The mental harm usually leads to physical harm. And there's different ways in which this can manifest. First, you become distressed, concerned. You can suffer from anxiety and depression. And this can then disrupt your coordination, physical coordination. Now, I know this because as an athlete, just a social athlete, not a professional one, I've had it happen to me in a marriage to a covert female narcissist. But what happens is your coordination gets disrupted. You might turn to drugs or other things which will upset your coordination. And this could lead you into an accident. Now, I had a sporting accident because of disruption from a covert female narcissist. And I've told this story before, but I'll say it again. We were to meet up to go for a walk. She didn't turn up. I had no mobile phone. I was getting a new one that morning at 11 o'clock. So I didn't know where she was. And I don't like letting people down. So to cut a long story short, I had to abandon the walk to go and get a mobile phone, which I'd arranged to meet this person at a particular time. Got the phone and proceeded to go home. I got home, and this person, supposed to be my wife, this person is pulling out of the street. And I said, well, where were you? We were supposed to go for a walk. And it was though we hadn't even organised anything at all. This is what they do. They try and project you as being the problem, but no, I wasn't the problem. and she said, I don't like the dress, I'm just taking it back. I've gone, I was completely disappointed, confused. There was no rhyme or reason why she contradicted her arrangements, which was just completely and utterly disrespectful, because that's what these people are. And so I went kiting. The wind was up from the west, which is usually gusty. Westerly winds are gusty, which puts a more of a danger level on it. So I go kiting, and I'm in a social competition to try and reach 10 metres high in jumping. And there's recorders that record how high you jump, the duration of your session, and all that stuff. So I come in from that session because I didn't feel right. I just didn't feel right. I love the sport, but I just didn't feel right in my mind. And this was the effect. This was a result of this woman's negligence. Now, the outside world isn't seeing this, right? This is all covert. This is happening within the relationship, and the consequences of the relationship and the way in which this woman's being negligent is now impacting my performance, even if it's micro-incremental. Even if it's micro-incremental. And so I'm in off the water. I've got the 27 metre lines to the kite reduced with the kite in a position of D power. And in a split second of disconcentration as a result of the confusion and anxiety and questions that you ask yourself in your mind as to why this other person hasn't done what they've said they were going to do. The kite in a split second was taken into the air. The next thing, I was taken off the ground into the air as well, with no control over the control bar. Thrust into the air, come down vertically, 25 metres across from where I took off, 5 metres high, and landed on my left side, shattering my talus bone, fracturing, snapping my left wrist, hitting my head, which wasn't very nice either, and then being dragged across the ground for another 10 or 15 metres or so before I finally got the situation under control and depowered the kite. The next part of the visual is me being taken on the GPS, is being taken to the hospital in the back of the ambulance, and from there it stops. This is how, now I'm 5 years down the track from that accident and still carrying the wounds. It completely destroyed my career, although I still do the same job, bricklayer. Completely destroyed my career, completely took about, I'd say, I'd have to say 40% of my performance, physical performance, away, and 60% of my potential performance away, because I can't reach my potential now because I can't run on that left ankle. So that takes out a big part of the training that I used to do. I've fought my way back. It hasn't been easy. But I have to say, I'll never be the same. I will never be the same. The agony and the pain and the lack of performance that it's put me through, I just can't describe how horrible and bad it is. And this can happen when you're in a relationship with a covert narcissist who disrupts your psyche to an extent where you're no longer able to perform the way that you should. You've been undermined, you've been disemboweled of your coordination. And I'm telling you, people have car accidents, people turn to drugs and other things and they overdose. All these things happen because of the way in which the covert narcissist becomes in the relationship. It completely throws you off and completely undermines who you are and what the relationship is about, and this is what causes the accidents.